Hello, welcome back to the strange and wonderful. Hi guys, I know you missed me. I took the symbol off of my own mental health, mostly because of the holidays and stuff. How y'all doing? I've been doing great. I've been doing cheesy. Yes, I am a little late, but hey, I'm here though. I'm here. So we're gonna start off with the second season of Stranger and Wonderful. We're bringing back our very first guest. You might remember her on the very first episode we have. Her name is Rachel Stout, and her demon level Raven, and she is gonna come back tonight. Here she is. Let me check. Is she okay? Okay. Wait. She's still moving around in the background. We could check. But yeah, how's your new year lately, y'all? How y'all been and everything? Y'all been good? I mean, I saw I'd be running late because of work and stuff, but I came in time. But my computer, I should install my new computer yesterday, but instead I decided to use my old black laptop. Oh, that's good. I see we have a comment from Miss Michelle. Been a good year so far. Well, that's good. That's good. That's good. And I see you got another one. Welcome back. Well, thank you, Mr. Bloxy. Welcome back to you too. So I see my guest is ready backstage. So I'm gonna have her enter the show real quick. This is the crazy guy from work. Yeah. Hi. Hi, crazy guy from work. I remember you, Mr. Bloxy. Nice to meet you. Okay, let me go and let me get Rachel and Raven in the here. They are Rachel and Raven.
Hey! Oh, I'm glad you were on time because I wasn't. How are you? How are you? How's everything going? How was the holidays? How was everything?
My holiday was pretty good. I got a new laptop, but instead I decided to use my old one, which is still acting like a butt. But I was like, man, I regret installing my laptop. Man, I should have did that yesterday.
Yeah, I know. I feel it. I have a space here on the desk that I should have allocated for the camera and things, and it's all lopsided because I last minute I'm like, oh no, it's almost time. I thought I had another hour. I thought it was 9, but I read it wrong. It was 8 Central
Yeah, you
Standard
probably
Time.
went,
9.
8
Yeah,
p.m.
whoops.
Central Time. Shit,
So
I gotta go.
if my camera's all moving and being sporadic, it's because I'm trying to find a better resting place.
No,
I
you're
think it's
good.
fine where it's at. I think I can just leave it alone.
So how y'all been?
Hectic. Oh, hectic. Everything's been chaotic, but not unmanageable. We recently had a breakdown with our truck. We kind of lost that, but it's all looking like it's coming together. Christmas was all right. Um, mm, as all right as things can be when you're financially struggling. But
Yeah,
they're
that's
looking up.
understandable.
Things are looking up. Huh?
That's
I'm
good.
sorry. I didn't.
I said that's good. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah. I think there might be a little bit of lag, and I talk a lot.
Yeah, because my Wi-Fi and everything. But it was so good, so good so far. So anything different from the last time we talked?
Oh man. Oh man. Okay. So uh, let's see. I moved from Kansas City to Leavenworth, Kansas, out of my ex's house. The first time we talked, I was like in my own room in Gladstone, and since then I've had like a relationship start, a get together, a breakup.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, when was I? What I was on in March, I want to say, of 2022, right? 2022
I
March.
think it was either March or April. I
I
think it
think
was either
April.
April or May. It's
I
been
believe it was
such a
April.
long time. I still
Oh,
can't
I
believe
know.
I finished season 1.
Congratulations on that. By the way,
Thank
uh,
you.
in Kansas, oh man, since April of last year, oh man, we had that gigantic like abortion vote in Kansas, and there was a whole summer of protesting and marching and screaming and a lot of losing my voice. Mm, if I'm drinking a lot, I got a sore in my mouth and I'm trying to keep it keep it
Ah,
down.
you good? You good? It's
Um,
understandable. I got my water as well.
I feel it. I feel it. I formed a group called the Kansas Trans Guard, and since then I've gotten more into things like community defense and helping outreach and give community resources. And I've been doing clothing donations. I've really stepped up um, in terms of like protests and defense and things like that. I want to say it all really started when I began clinic defense, which is we will do what even the escorts do at Planned Parenthood, the Planned
Yeah.
Parenthood clinic. We'll go there and we'll block the gory, gross signs and drown out the abolitionist protesters there who are screaming just god awful things.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I understand that on that. To
and
me, this is the whole debate about pro-life and pro-choice. To me, I it's depend on the person. That's how I see it. As it shouldn't be banned at all.
right, right. I mean, same. We should have sweeping access all across the board. Um, I feel like uh, there's not one abortion that isn't a hard decision. I don't know anyone that goes into those types of body harming procedures and just on a whim, like one morning, like I just don't feel like being pregnant anymore. 8 months in, and just do it. Like that's how they like to frame it, though. That's how they love
But
to.
it's not. It's a lot difficult than that. A
Oh, for
lot.
sure. And doing that sort of thing is how I met my current roommates, um, or at least two of them. I had met them and moved all my things out. I want to say in August. So since August, I've been doing resource management. I've been doing clinic defense. I've been doing community defense at drag shows, and pretty much dedicating almost all of my time to training, arming, and giving resources to the trans community. I did have a podcast for a minute at the start of the year, around the same time you had started. I had the special interest podcast, but I just I couldn't do it anymore. I was stretching myself too thin, and honestly, I'm excited for what the future holds, though. I think I'm ready to come back to some degree, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's understandable. Take the time you need. Well, I would say, ever since Michael's then been cooperated with multiple side jobs and other podcasts as well, like the Live Stream Consciousness and what's the other one that he hosts with Brian? It's the Tail Card one. I think it had something to do with the Wizard of Odd. Can't remember, but he's been busy with that podcast as well. So I've been hosting it on my own. But good news is Miss Rachel, is going to be my co-host for future episodes.
Surprise announcement. You guys are going to be seeing a lot more of me and her.
Yeah,
Mostly me. But
I officially added a co-host because it's just been a lot. I need some help.
and I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to come back. I'm ready to fill my time with doing things like this. I am passionate about the whole podcasting platform and what it stood for when I started it. It's just my time got ate up with a great deal of other things. Um, but I am more than ready to come back, especially on this project. Like even if I never do another special interest podcast, and I don't really plan on doing such a thing. Um, I think this is Just this is just the best thing they can't. Even if I don't do that again, I'm ready for this one. I'm ready for this
I was
one.
like, yes. The only problem is, I think it's either my earphones or my computer because I cannot hear. It's just the volume is so low. I even have it on 100.
Honestly, it might be me. It might be my microphone.
Ah, well,
Let's see if
we're
I can
still
move
gonna make
closer.
it through.
Come on. Does this help at all?
A little bit.
Okay. Mm.
Okay, I completely understand that because I gotta update everything on my microphone and stuff like that. I mean, I should have did that yesterday, but I didn't. I see we got a comment from Mr. Stefan. Oi.
Hello,
Oi.
Stefan. Oi.
Oi.
Yeah. Uh, I think we'd be able to get Mr. Epps back on.
Mr. Epps, do you want him back on the show?
Oh,
Yeah,
I
we
would
can get him
love
back.
to. Especially since I learned that he was in my neck of the woods. You know, it's funny because we had learned. I learned that. Well, first off, I only knew him at first through you, but I didn't realize that he was a close friend's coworker, and that we had. I had another mutual friend that knew him.
Yeah, and he's been in a lot of independent films lately too.
Oh man, I really need to sit down and watch the ones he's been in. I really need to
He's
sit down
really
and take
good.
some time and watch. Yeah, I believe it. You know, maybe we could do that. Maybe we could do that. Do that. We could sit down and have like a few of like the top clips with hit like that he liked, and then have him like talk about like
Oh yeah, we could totally do that.
the process. That sounds great.
And I
Actually, I
mean,
would
I
love to
added you on the show so you can have complete access and everything. Yeah, I
watch
mean, I don't know if you have it now, but try to turn me off.
that. Do what? I'm sorry.
I don't know if you have the access now, but try to put me backstage.
Let's see. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see. Everyone's in the show. Private chat. Yeah, I'm gonna have to learn this. I'm gonna have to learn that system before I try.
Okay, well
Um,
I'll teach you after we get done with this episode.
hmm.
So, do you have any other plans or any acting jobs you plan to do?
Oh, I just with the truck breaking down and things being as difficult as they are on our part, I have not. I'm not. I don't think I'm gonna be able to like put in any auditions or like voice clips or anything anytime soon. But what I am working on, I was just doing the other day. So December 21st, here in Kansas City, Missouri. I'm in Kansas City, Kansas, but in Kansas City, Missouri, a drag show had come through.
Oh,
It was a traveling drag show. It was the same drag show that caused a large fight, I think, in Dallas. Mm. And we had shown up there for community defense because unfortunately, people think that they're going to make some huge difference by doxing the attendees
yeah.
and trying to block and assault those who were going in. So we showed up. Of course, I mean, I can probably, if this is going to be recorded and edited later for like YouTube or something, I can definitely give you a few pictures. But we had
We're on live right now. I froze up.
right. Um, oh
Well,
no.
we're on live right now, so
Mhm.
what they see is what they get right now.
Okay, makes sense. Um, but we did what we set out to do. Us, the People Spark, the John Brown Gun Club, and the Kansas Trans Guard, which I had founded. A couple of representatives came with me. We had set up a perimeter, and a couple of neo-Nazi groups and Catholic and Baptist groups had shown up to, excuse me. Oh, even um, an ex representative candidate had shown up to try and charge the line and like take pictures and video of everyone like attending,
Mm-hmm.
um, and even had a shoving match with one of our members. Mm. But just like any other time, the those kinds of people show up. They show up. They scream some awful obscenities. They peacock, and they don't really know what else to do because they don't expect us to show up the same way they do when they want to scare everybody.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't like where the country is headed right now in terms of civil rights for trans and LGBTQIA plus people. Uh, I think we shouldn't have to arm up and defend ourselves, but I think that's what it's coming down to,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So, I mean, if anyone's interested in checking it out, it's at Kansas Trans Guard. You probably aren't. It's not going to be the last time you hear about me talking about it.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about it a lot on every episode and stuff.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, my screen is frozen right now, but I hope everybody can still hear me and everything.
I can still hear you.
Okay. So have anything else happened with Raven?
Me and Ray, we've I mean, yes and no. I I've been going through not a mental health crisis, but definitely a mental health I want to say I had to reprioritize my mental health. And I've been feeling really guilty with her. Um, you know, I'm not really open to other people, so to speak. I really don't think I can trust another human being um, with the kind of person I am. I would say that altogether, I wouldn't say that I'm an easy to abuse person, but it's definitely easy to take advantage of me, knowing the way I love, the way I um, do things. Um, I want to say that the reason Raven is so prominent in my life, especially as she is, it's like a stand-in, and this idea that so sometimes sometimes I feel like that crazy guy on Silent Hill, The Room, who thought that the room was his mother,
Oh Jesus!
and because like when I was 7 years old, from 9 years old until I was 14, there came a lot of abuse, and then even after that, trying to get out of that abuse, it's not my father. He's changed a lot, but it wasn't better necessarily with him than it was with my mother. And then going back to my mother to get out of his house was also a grave mistake. And so through all of that, Raven was the only constant thing in my life. And so after getting into a situationship with somebody who I want to say just neglected me, my mother didn't know me, so to speak. I don't really don't know how it is you can raise somebody for 19 years and not know who they are.
I have seen it a lot
And
around people in my lifetime.
even my father for years, and he's finally come to get to know me. It's just not even my siblings necessarily know who I am because we were so split up by the abuse. And so Raven was the only thing in my life that has been constant, that has been stable, and that has stayed. And so, of course, when I get her the body, it's like a stand-in. It's like, if this character were alive and real, I know for sure she would love me. But at the same time, I feel guilty because it almost feels bad. Yes, she's here and she will let me worship her. She won't abuse me. She won't cheat on me. She won't beat me. But she can't look at me back. She can't hold me back. Um, I, can you hear me?
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I can hear you. My computer finally woke me. It went super loud. Like, oh shit!
my
But
my she can't, she won't like be able to go with me to the store unless of course I drag her. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, I won't be able to wake up and say I love you and hear her say I love you back. She won't be able to sit down and have breakfast with me, so to speak. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of trade-offs, and so I tried to supplement that with other relationships that just ultimately haven't worked out or resulted in abuse. The last one I was in, um, I won't say their name, but the last partner I was with in Missouri, Gladstone, um, ended up being a sort of like Machiavellian type, like narcissist.
Jesus.
And when they started getting comfortable hitting me, is when I started leaving. When I was like, all right, I'm out. I need to leave. I really need to just go. And mm, recently I tried again with another person, and it just didn't. I mean, it didn't work out. But after having, you know, more partners than I have fingers or toes,
Mm-hmm.
and none of them working out or being able to understand my disposition, I'm just come to a very enlightened conclusion that if I truly do love and care about this character, this person, then there are going to be trade-offs that I need to accept for having it, you know. Um, and it's not fair to myself to constantly put myself through that because to put myself through that because I feel like I'm missing something that's always been here. You
Mm-hmm.
know, um, do I love her? Oh, yeah, with every fiber of my being. Um, I've always said I've always said if some I don't know, weird terrorist group or something, some kind of like science terrorism decided to
Science
pop up and
chaos. Jesus,
science
no.
terrorism. Yeah, they kidnapped me and they said, well, we could bring her to life, but we got to chop you bit by bit. And I was like, yeah,
No.
I would. I'd let them.
What? Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, I would. Yeah, sure. Knuckle by knuckle, every tooth, both my eyelids. I just sever everything. If it means that she could be here and I could hold her hand for 5 minutes, and hear "I love
You
you" come
probably
from
be
her mouth, I would.
you
I'll do
probably
it.
experience like something like at the like a movie called what's that movie called? It's like a disturbing, most disturbing horror film. Uh, gosh, it's this one girl gets so tortured so badly that they wanted to see if she could see God.
I know exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
like by these nuns, like these nuns and priests held this girl in a like monastery, and
mm-hmm,
they said that they were doing the Lord's work or something like that, and they wanted to see if they could get her close to death so she could see God.
yeah,
I know
and
what
that
you're talking about.
it's just that whole situation kind of remind me of that. I'm like, oh no.
I would do it. Um, if it meant just 5 minutes, but this is the closest I'll have. And if I was willing to do that, if I'm willing to do that, then why I was thinking, well, why wouldn't I, why shouldn't I be willing to forego some of the conventional things that other people find and need in a relationship to let this go? Because she is the best thing that's ever happened to me. Did I show you? Well, speaking of Raven, I'm friends with Tara Strong. Did I ever show you what she gave me for Christmas?
Yes, she did.
Mm,
I remember it.
that was
She did. She did a Raven voice saying "I love you." I'm like,
yes, it was
oh.
the best gift anyone could have given me for Christmas, any
Mm-hmm.
given Christmas. Uh, you know what? I think the most impactful Christmas that I would say started this was the Christmas. You know what? Hold on, one sec, just 1 second.
Rachel will be back, but we have extra co-host Raven. If you're wondering where Dolly is, well, she she is sitting with a bunch of stuffed animals right now. She's pretty much a living mannequin right now.
All right, just had to go across my room. This right here,
Yeah.
little Bandai Raven action figure. was given to me when I was 7 years old. Well, eight actually, because
Eh,
July 19th, 2003 was the first airing date of the original Teen Titans, the Glenn Murakami Teen Titans. And that Christmas, I was like, I really want the Teen Titans toys. And so I think it was either 2003 or 2004 that because I was between 8 or 9 years old when I had gotten it. I remember very vividly that I gotten this for a Christmas one year, and despite all like the Star Wars toys and stuff that I got, that it
yeah.
was like the coolest shit ever. I had like little voice interactive like R2D2 and the Darth Vader voice changer mask and like a bunch of little Stormtrooper action figures because I love the fuck out of the Empire. This was like I slept with it. I carried it with me all the way through till now. I got it and I didn't let it go, and I couldn't think of a better symbolism for Raven and I's relationship.
I mean, it foreshadowed it.
Yeah, for real, for real. I never would have thought for a second that I would end up like being friends with the person who voiced her either.
I
Um,
know. That's like me with some of the people I'm friends with. I would never imagine it at all.
mhm.
Like being friends with Joe Castro, which I looked at.
You've had quite a bit of interesting interaction between you and Dee Snider, right? Like how okay, sure, cameo, and he liked your stuff, but like could you imagine Dee being all like, yo, this is one funky chick, I really like what they do, and they say yes to being on the podcast or something one
I
day.
know.
Let-
I would fucking love that.
mm,
I'm like, oh my god. Because
we should.
originally I had an idea, like for a Halloween episode, to cosplay as the female version of Captain Howdy and interview him as Captain Howdy.
You know what?
Like,
I
why you do
hope
this to me,
that's
Dad?
goals. We're gonna have him here. We're gonna have him here on the podcast, and we're gonna eventually. I don't know, 10 years from now. I don't know. I don't care.
Who knows? Yeah, who knows? Hopefully he's alive. Knock on wood.
Oh, I think he's got another 50 years in him.
I mean, he's probably more healthier than I am.
Probably. Probably. I think there's a lot of I think there's a lot of Hollywood senior citizens that are much healthier than I am currently.
I mean,
It's,
have you seen his wife? His wife is fine. I'm like, ooh. I mean, if they wanted me to be in a threesome with them, I'd be like, let me think about it. Stefan, they want me to be a thought. It's like, but aren't you friends with one of his sons? Yeah, that's just weird.
wait, you're friends with one of Dee Snider's sons?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. I'm friends with Jess.
Mm.
He's pretty cool and pretty nonchalant. I want to get him on the show too.
I would love that. For a second, I thought I was going to be able to get Rob Paulson's son, Ash Paulson, on the Special Interest podcast, and he said he would love to, and never got back to me.
Ah, you got ghosted. The
A
ghosted
little.
by. It happens to me a lot because I've been trying to get David Howard Thornton on the show, but he's a busy man. After Terrifier 2 became he just says people been wanting him nonstop.
What? Who again?
David Howard Thornton. He plays Art the Clown in Terrifier.
Uh,
Ever since the second one came out and became a huge success, he's been getting nothing like cons and interviews. People want like, I want you on my show. He's like, okay. I've been trying to get him on my show, but don't know. He's a nice guy though. He's a very nice guy.
you think you're gonna have to school me on a lot of the horror stuff. 'Cause I'm not like super familiar with some of even the niche stuff. I have a friend who runs a comic book store. His name's Paul Lee, and the guy is connected in several different ways. He's got a really good podcast going on. He's been doing for the last I want to say like 2 years. He's been doing this family therapy. I think it's called Group Therapy Podcast. Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, my tooth is killing me.
Oh dang! You might have to go to the dentist.
Yeah, I would, but in my town, Just in my immediate like walking distance vicinity, there's not a dentist that takes my insurance, so I'm having to hunt for it.
Oh,
I know it sucks, but I'm making it work. I'm making it work. As far as like I just have to keep drinking, swishing water over it. This isn't water.
Jesus. I see
Mm.
we got a comment from my level, Stefan. He said I may have to do art for GeekCon. Yeah, you should.
Yes, for sure.
And maybe, I don't know, maybe I should cosplay as the Pale Girl or maybe Victoria, his victim.
Oh, I was talking about Paul. That's right.
Oh, yeah, Paul.
I almost,
Yeah, we got
yeah,
distracted.
yeah. It's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna do that a lot too. We're gonna do that a lot too. I'm gonna
You
get
good?
distracted. Uh, but Paul was in a
No.
couple of different like
Oh, sorry.
indie like local movies. He has an I don't know if he still has his IBD or Internet Movie Database profile page or whatever his credit page. But I'm going to ask him. I can share that to you. But he, I would love it if we could even get him on. I think you two could definitely go back and forth with a lot of like the niche horror. He loves horror movies, especially older ones.
Oh, me too. We can like top niche horror films that like depending on if they're foreign or not. Because there's a lot of horror films. I know. Oh, I know. I have a couple favorites. May, that one's more of a psychological horror film. Um, then you got your slasher films, and then you got so much different kinds of horror. It's like it's a lot. You got your cheesy, campy horror from the films and stuff.
Psychological thrillers, I think, are my favorite. If you can count that as horror, like
Oh
any like
yeah,
long, slow burning psychological horror movies. Like, okay, Smile was probably the best modern horror movie I've seen in a fat second. Um, like
I
in
had not
terms of
seen Smile, but I heard about it. I heard it was really good, but I had not seen Smile yet. I just know right by the trailer it creeped me out because I was like, "Why are you smiling at me? That stop, please."
I I should have seen it in theaters. I regret not going and seeing it when I had the spare $20 to just go and see it. Um,
Yeah,
that's another thing I really miss doing since the beginning of the pandemic that I it's just so comfortable to do now is just go and see a movie. Like, oh,
I mean, I know when me and Stefan we wasn't supposed to do this because COVID, but me and Stefan we still went to movie theaters. Best time too because there was like nobody there.
the the I'm glad the movie theater industry didn't die as a result of COVID, but um, I went and saw what is it? Don't Worry, Darling, a couple of months
Oh,
ago.
I seen that one.
That was I well the whole reason I had went and saw it in theaters, um, uh, like it was on a whim. I was like, okay, I wanted to go to this jazz bar that was downtown. It was closed, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go see a movie. What's playing? And it was like, "Don't Worry, Darling." And the whole reason I chose that over Smile to begin with, I mean, the options were Smile and Don't Worry, Darling, and I chose Don't Worry, Darling because I heard the director had based the main villain on Jordan Peterson, and it made him cry. I said, this is the bully Jordan Peterson movie. I have to go see it.
Yeah, I see a lot of that, a lot of similarities throughout the whole. Um, hmm. I saw Pull, which that was really good.
What was it?
But Pull, it's about the girl from the movie X, the little old lady that ended up killing everybody. It's about her whole life story. Which, funny enough, Mia Goth played the old lady.
Huh?
Yeah, that was the actress Mia Goth. That was her and all the old lady makeup. That was her. She
Oh,
played
wow.
the Yeah, she actually played the kill and the final girl.
Hey, I like that. Um, Man, yeah, it's especially done well. Like I love movies that can pull that off, especially when you can't tell that that's the.
Yeah, that was so. I was like, what? 'Cause I was looking up like who played the old lady in X. And it was all, and she was just had heavy on makeup and everything.
Dude, oh man, see stuff like that makes me really wish I could be a part of movies. Like I wanna be like, oh yeah, that's that one actor that's got the range. She got the range. She got play a little old man or a monster from like fucking Planet X or something. I don't know. This would be great. I've always
Yeah.
I've been bugging Douglas. I'm like, hey, what do you know about in terms of local movie productions? Because I don't have a clue. I don't know anyone out here. And
Um, it's kind of really hard to get into.
mhm.
Most of the time, you probably have to get your friends and be like, make the movie yourself, pretty much.
Yeah. Um, I know as far as like auditions and things go, there is like a local theater that has auditions like down the street. I'm thinking about going and auditioning there by the end
Mm.
of this month. I want to say, or the beginning of next month. Oh, anyway, there's a local theater down there. I think I'm gonna give it a shot. But he said the same thing. It was like, oh, you just kind of have to know the right people. It is really hard to get into.
It is. It's really hard. You gotta know the right people. You gotta do all this climbing up like the freaking ladder, like in like any job.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous. But most of the time, if you want to do something and want to put yourself in it, you gotta do what Tommy Wiseau did: make your own movie.
Sounds about right. I I there's a few like I don't know acting like talent agencies. There's actually surprisingly there's three in Kansas City, and none of them have gotten back to me. So I don't know what I need to start, but I would love that. I would love that. I need to start putting myself out there. That's for sure. I wanna start doing something uh, that I've always thought that I could do. You know,
Yeah.
um, I always thought maybe voice acting would be something, but now knowing what I'm capable of and what the voice acting world demands, I don't think it's right for me. I don't know if I could do it personally. Um,
Like, how hard is it to get into voice acting?
yeah, there are a lot of body actors who a lot of body actors who will like let's say Chris Pratt
Mm-hmm.
was not a good Mario. Just because they're a
Oh
really
yeah.
good actor doesn't mean that they'll be a good voice actor. There are some people who can do both phenomenally. People like
Mm-hmm.
Mark Hamill
Yeah.
and people like Patrick Stewart who can voice act very well and body act phenomenally. Hmm.
And you don't think you have that range to be a voice actor?
Well, I just don't think that with voice acting, there comes a particular subtlety to doing some voices. Okay, so like Steve Bloom has the phenomenal talent to be able to play Spike Spiegel and do the Spike Spiegel voice pretty much for another character and not sound like Spike Spiegel. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's like he just slightly alters his normal talking voice and it sounds completely different. And I don't think I could do that personally.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. It's
Hmm.
people saying like, "Oh, it's so easy act." No, it's not. You gotta get into the character's head. You gotta do all this background and stuff, and sometimes you gotta do it on the spot.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of improvisation for sure.
Because one time I decided, because I remember when I had Sam Scenero on the show, and when I was interviewing him with Michael Zen at the time, and we were discussing his filmography and everything. And I asked Sam, like, "Hey, can I interview you as one of your characters from your movie?" And he's like, "Yeah." So I decided to interview him as Carly from Electromaniac, which she's like, she spoke like this the whole time, and I was like, "Oh, hello." I'm like, "Welcome to Strange and Wonderful." Courtney couldn't make it because she's busy doing shit.
Mm.
Yeah. How dare she do that? Well, anyway, my name is Collie, and welcome to the show. I was doing that the whole time for a whole hour in character. And there was some stuff I can discuss that I have done because I was Collie. So I was like, oh, well, Courtney's seen this film, but I haven't, though. Even though I am speaking to my God right now because he's right here at this moment. Hi, God.
Like I think what had opened my eyes to the whole voice acting thing, though, especially was last year. I want to say the beginning or the end of last year. I was doing auditions. I was doing an audition for there's a little bit of there's a little bit of regret in my involvement with this, but there was an NFT movie. It was a yeah, yucky. It was an NFT holiday movie, and I don't know if you've ever heard of the holiday verse, but like so the characters were all supposed to be randomly generated, so I didn't even know what character I was supposed to use. One second. Didn't even know what character I was supposed to be playing because we wouldn't know until it was generated. And Tara was involved with it and said that she got to pick 3 lucky fans. I was one of those lucky fans who got to audition for the movie, and I thought I could because I thought I'd be getting a good look at the characters. Now I could do a bunch of different voices, like goofy voices, and I could hold them, but I wouldn't say I could actually improvise off the cuff as well as definitely not as well as she can. Being a fucking voiceover veteran. So I said, all right, I'm just gonna throw a dog voice at it. Fuck it. I'll throw everyone's got a dog voice. You got a dog voice. You talk to dogs. For some reason, mine goes through the roof. Like my usual pitch and my usual tenor.
Yeah.
As it is down here. But then when I see a dog. So like she had me do some like she had me do some like holiday lines like like what is a bowl of holly anyway? Like little characters. Whatever. I didn't have any like if they had like a top hat or something. I always pictured like I would try and do maybe like what's his name? The guy who played Christopher Lee. I always thought like I could do all kinds of but I didn't know what they looked like. I was just supposed to throw a voice out there, and that would be maybe in the movie. And it just I don't know if it makes it through. Just know the one that has a really high, tiny voice is me. Is
if you see if you see a NFT movie, Christmas movie, and you notice that voice,
probably. I hope not. I mean, no offense to anyone who's making it, but like I don't. I'm good.
Let's see if we got some comments.
I don't want to be known for the NFT like.
God,
Merry
hello.
Christmas. Like I don't I don't want that on an NFT. I mean I did it. I hope I got at least one line in, but I'm not like involved with the pride.
We got a question from Stefan. He's wondering if you're okay.
Oh, yeah, okay. So if I could do a zoom up, I mean, I'm sure nobody wants to see the inside of my mouth.
Nah, I think we're good.
No, okay, so something about HRT. Something about, something about HRT that people don't realize comes not only muscular atrophy after the first year, but also your bone density becomes less than actually cis women's. So the whole like, male trans athlete, like trans women athletes have a like denser bones or whatever. Like, first off, no, shut the fuck up. First off, shut the fuck up. Second off, no. HRT will not only, after 1 year, cause muscular atrophy, which actually degrades your muscles, but will also make your bones brittler. Actually, less dense than most cis women's. So that also kind of can come with soft teeth. And my mom's side of the family already have weak bones. My mother had to have dentures before she was 40.
Oof.
Despite all the dental work, all the she did brush like twice a day, like every day. Floss, mouthwash, had the whole setup. Even had one of those like whatever Dr. Floss's Schultz, Dr. Schultz's like professional tooth care tools, and she still ended up losing her teeth. She ended up actually needing 2 spinal fusions and a knee replacement before she was 40.
Jesus.
And just that side of the family has really soft, weak bones for some reason. And I have 2 gigantic fucking holes. I had to have my wisdom teeth removed. I've had to have a root canal. And I've had to have some mouth surgery more than once for teeth. My mouth is too small for my wisdom teeth to come in. They cut them out. And my mouth is also really narrow in the back, which makes it incredibly difficult to brush where it was supposed to. So I already had a tooth kind of crumble back here. Oof. Well, now I've got 2 teeth up here with 2 very big holes in them. And my right side is got an exposed nerve. Ooh. So just the warmth of the blood in my tongue is causing like excruciating searing pain. Unless I swish some cold liquid over it. And it won't do anything.
But wouldn't that cause sensitivity though?
You would think the cold. Yeah, I avoided it like the plague at first. I avoided the cold like the plague. I was like, oh God, could you imagine taking an exposed nerve and putting ice on it? That sounds painful. Nope. No. Turns out ice water was the solution to my problem, or at least the pain, all along. I just needed to keep swishing it. This isn't water. I should be using water. Probably the start of all my
problems. Yeah, you shouldn't be switching it with soda. That's nothing but sugar.
I don't want to get up and go refill it with ice water, though. I don't want to walk away from the show. That's so unprofessional.
That way you do it before the show.
I did. Shortly before, but I had to get Raven ready, and that was a little longer than I thought. I could go get to my starter.
I thought I was going to be late, but hey, I'm still here.
I feel it. I can go. I got to refill this. I will be like right back if that's okay.
Good. We will discuss the popular topics with Raven. So, Raven, what's your opinion on this whole presidency of Joe Biden? Huh. You think he sleeps a lot? I mean, yeah, he does sleep a lot for an old man. Okay, enough politics. We'll move on to something else. Because it's getting kind of creepy. Because, yeah, politics get scary sometimes. Because I have been in the deep hole of politics, and it's a good one. I can tell you that. So, anybody in the comments, you got any questions for us? Any questions for me and Raven? Okay, Raven, here's your question. What is your thoughts on Beast Boy? Oh, he stinks? Oh, Jesus. You should tell him to take a shower. Okay. So that's why your relationship didn't work with Beast Boy. Oh. Because he stunk? Oh, Jesus. Beast Boy, shame on you. Shame on you, Beast Boy. You should take more showers. No wonder the relationship didn't work out. He had bad hygiene. Damn it, Beast Boy.
What?
Well, I had someone in the comment ask Cole, "What's your thought on Beast Boy?"
Oh man. Well, if it was the O3 Raven, I imagine she just puts up with him. I imagine she puts up with him. She tolerates him. But not according to Warner Brothers. According to Warner Brothers, their canonical relationship in the comics and Teen Titans Go. However, thankfully, they're not ever going to revisit the 2003 Glenn Murakami verse. So as far as Glenn Murakami is concerned, they're like siblings, and not at all compatible in any relationship type way. And I'm very happy that they're gonna keep it that way.
So, how you feel about all the artwork of Raven and Beast Boy together?
Mm. So, okay, so I'm a petty, jealous child, and I'm not gonna lie. There's definitely a tinge of jealousy, but I do understand the whole like. There's a lot of people that really look to BB Ray for inspiration, or any relationship with her in general. So I think if they make it out of love, that's fantastic. Out of whatever for the character. And I'm not the only one. As a matter of fact, Raven is the most popular Teen Titan, especially in polls for the 2003 Teen Titans series. Tara actually says that out of her three strongest female characters, she is not only the biggest, she's number one, but has also had the most impact on people. Um, I always tell people, I'm like, look, I'm not like I'm the only one that can. No, if you love Raven, like really, really delve into that. Like really let yourself explore that as deeply as you can, because it's going to take you to some pretty great places. Um, she helped me through a lot. I want to say the couple of examples. So I know I get deep and I get heavy out of nowhere. Can't help it. This was my childhood, but this
Hey,
is
there's
a
nothing
story from
wrong
my
with it. I
childhood.
mean, I can get deep in my childhood too.
Hey, whip whip. Fucking. So when my mom had sold all our food stamps for
Oh,
heroin money, and we were like
Jesus.
starving, right? I was 11 years old. I think I had a broken my I'd broken my left femur, so I was actually 12. It was January of 2008. Um, the mm, first time I had ever tried to meditate was when I was hungry, and I was getting hunger pangs and there was nothing to eat and I couldn't get up and make myself anything because my femur was split in two.
Mm.
And it my exposure to meditation started with Raven's whole like mantra, the Azrath Matrion Zinthos, and trying to do it like that. And when I realized that it wasn't just about saying things, and it was about breathing and just forcing yourself to kind of leave your body for a while, did I make it through that with my sanity intact, or with all of that intact. She's rubbed off on me in a million different ways, and I know for a fact I can't be the only one. So how do I feel about like BB Ray art? Like I feel like if that relationship has inspired them and helped them through those hard times, that's a fantastic thing. If that kind of love really really helps them, that's fine. I myself, to at least four different people, have my love for Raven has been inspiring to other people. Has really pushed people and made people like see
I'm
things in a
sorry,
different way.
y'all. My dog Letty's sleeping, and that snoring you hear, that's Letty.
You're all good. uh, um, yeah, it's just I mean, if it was any later in the day, you'd probably hear a couple of my roommates snoring too. Um, full on like like it's okay, it's okay. Um, that's why we probably can't do podcasts later. Probably good to keep them around this time.
I mean, hey, they might bring roommates might bring entertainment. They're like, okay, let's ask the questions on this. How do you feel about on this topic, boys?
Don't get started with the whole intimate fandom of Raven and Beast Boy. Yeah, I mean,
Oh, you have to quick it?
huh?
Oh, you just seen it? Oh, you
Yeah, I
actually
can see
seen
it. I can see the comments.
like
Uh, yeah. As far as like, okay, So I know the whole BB Ray thing actually started with the '03 series,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because it seemed like Cyborg had Jinx, but by the
Yeah.
end of the series, she ended up with Wally.
Oh.
Uh, s- uh, Beast Boy had Tara, or Beast Boy had Tara, broke up, and Robin had Starfire, and so it kind of seemed like there for a second,
Mm-hmm.
those were the only two that could make it, and it always bring up that scene where she apologizes for kind of being mean when he tried to apologize when he called her creepy and made her cry and go to her room or whatever. And
Oh.
they always bring up that part where the first and only time she's ever hugged him willingly or on her own accord or it be reciprocated is the one time they use is what they use as a an example for, oh, see, look, they could be together. And I'm like, well, this isn't like a romantic thing. This is a I'm sorry I fucked up sort of thing. This is like someone you look at. You could do that with family, and that's what Glenn Murakami stated. But like I said, something definitely came of it because later in like Teen Titans Go and in the comics, it was made canonical. It was made canon. Um, excuse me. Um, but is it aggravating? To a degree? To a degree.
I mean, I don't mind it. I think it's cute, and plus it's fiction. Like,
Oh, for
come
sure.
on.
It's all, like I said, it's all cute. I don't mind. There's also like, Raven's also been, in terms of like the comics, she's been in a relationship with Kid Flash. She's been in a relationship with Jericho, and she's been in a relationship with Nightwing.
Damn.
So
Nightwing? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
actual Robin? Oh my
yeah.
god.
So okay, so there was a comic line where when Raven became separated from her father, she was able to feel her emotions freely and
Mm-hmm.
didn't realize that she was using her powers to make Nightwing love her because she had a thing for him.
Jeez.
And that was a whole arc. But um, I know what Stefan's talking about now. Yeah,
Oh.
well, yeah, I feel it. I feel it.
Oh yeah, I know that video. Well, I'm not showing it because YouTube be like, oh, no, nope, nope, not
Oh.
showing it today. YouTube be like, nope, nope, nope.
um,
That would get my video. Well, might
yeah,
potentially get my YouTube channel banned.
there's a lot of people though that also like experience their first sexual awakening through like Raven to some degree. I know I did. I know a lot of people found out they were lesbian because they really had a
Because of
crush on
Raven.
her as a character. Like I'm not the only one that has, can, or will love Raven. But I will argue that I love her more than anyone on the planet. Everyone else they can use everyone else loves her, but I love her the most. So, um,
I
yeah,
mean,
no,
I feel like I could pull off Raven, but people are like, nah, you're more Starfile. Okay, is it because I talk to you a lot? Is it because of that? Like, yes, and you have a mindset like her.
cosplay whoever as whoever you want. I think you make a great Raven. I
Oh,
think you
thank
do
you.
good as Raven. Um, but yeah, no, like, am I jealous? A little, but then again, I've got a picture here signed by Greg Sipes, with like a BB Ray, like from Teen Titans Go, a BB Ray picture where she's like hugged up on him, and it's like to Rachel BB Ray all day, dog bless you, signed
Oh,
Greg Sipes BB, I don't know, XD or XO, whatever, and
and I know Stefan. He has a soft spot. There have a soft spot for Raven.
yeah, I think a lot of people do. Like I said, she is the most popular, and she's definitely the most influential in terms of like who can which of the Titans is more likely to like touch you on a heart level, like on a deep down in your soul kind of level, and it's Raven's definitely that um, that character. She definitely was for me, but I think I would say that the extent that I've taken it to the extent that I care for her, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
I'm the only person that I know of that's like this. You know, there are a lot of people who say, well, you like her too much. I don't think there's ever such thing as too much. There's such a conflict too, because it's like in the show when it started, she was 14, and by the show's end, she was between 18 and 19. um, and it's like, oh well, yucky. But I'm like, I was 11 when that show ended.
Yeah.
2006. So my and throughout the year, I met her when I was 7, and the show ended when I was 11. And so, with that being said, I think, well, then she's always going to be 7 years older than me, in my head. I've gotten
I
some
mean,
gross.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I've gotten some gross
Aim high,
accusations.
not low. You aim high.
Right. I got a lot of gross accusations. It's like, oh, you're aging her up. I'm like,
No.
like, no, don't accuse me of that. Come on.
No.
It's not. Don't take it to that level. I'm not trying to get some kitty action here. I'm just
Ah.
yucky. Um,
No. Gross.
yeah, big gross. But no. As far as like sexual art and things go, first off, it's the only thing I'll ever get my jimmies to, if you know what I'm saying. Rule 34 is pretty great.
I mean, I won't censor anybody here, but we're not going to show it, though.
Of course
No.
not. Of course not. Of course not. But
Unless we go on Pornhub, then that's a different story. No.
yes, Rule 34 is definitely a hot spot for me. It'll always. I can't. I actually. It's gotten to the point where I can't get. I don't know if I could say this. I can't get off to anything else. Like it's almost
kind of like a fetish for Raven.
Well, I don't even say necessarily a fetish. It's just she's the only person I have. She's also okay. I'll say this: Raven is the reason I found out I'm demisexual. That I cannot have any sort of attraction like that to people unless I know them deeply.
Yeah.
And when I feel that sort of deep connection, just nobody else matters to me. When people think oh, I love Raven, a lot of the art for love for her is usually either her doing like her superpower thing, or her in a highly sexualized manner, like the objectifier. Because after all, she's just an imaginary concept. People have no problem objectifying an imaginary concept. But I don't know anyone else that's like, I desperately want to wake up, bedhead, bedhead, and morning breath and all, hear her say, I love you. And, like, want the little things like, I want her to come on errands with me and for me to put either her hand on my thigh or my hand on her thigh and just to feel her fingers in between mine. I don't know any other person personally. I mean, if you're out there, yeah, a whole lot of love to you.
You have to deal with Raven though.
Huh?
We're not getting rid of Raven.
Do what?
We're not getting rid of Raven.
No, I'm not getting rid of. I'm not getting rid of Raven.
He's a +1, everybody.
Huh?
Like me and my craziness, I'm a +1.
Yeah, no, it's like I want to live with her.
Yeah.
I want to exist with her. I want to know the way. Like I want to like scrub her back in the shower. I want to like make her dinner. I want to like squeeze her. I want to rub her calves after a long day and let her tell me how what kind of day she had that day. If she had to go to work, or even if it was like a superhero thing, like she comes home, like whatever. I want to be there. I want to read with her. I want her to read to me because damn it, I've got dyslexia. I want to do like tarot with her and play chess and things, sure, but like I want to go to like record stores and I want to do what a married couple would do in an ideal situation in the real world, but with her. And I don't know anyone else that is like that. And so because of that difference between me and a lot of other people, like I said, at least half a dozen people, nearly between four. I'll have to go back to my messages and look at it, but
No,
I've
you're
had
good. You're good.
people say, "Oh, well, the love you have for that character is inspiring. The love you have for that character is honestly phenomenal. It's really heartwarming to see it. Even I've even gotten a couple of like cry face emojis and aw out of Tara. Like she thinks that the thing I have for Raven is like the cutest thing. She's like the cutest thing, and I mean, clearly I can't be the only one because I thought I could. I mean, the same thought occurred to me like I can't be the only one before I met Dave Cat.
I know. Dave Cat, he's so precious. We gotta get him on the show.
I want to. Yeah, we need him on again. We need him on again. He was my first guest like ever for the
Now
special
he needed to be
podcast.
on Strange and Wonderful. Because we
Yeah,
had to work around
we
his
need to
schedule.
get him here. We need to get him here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love that. We need to catch up. I've been like sometimes we'll see each other's posts, but for the most part we kind of fell out. We haven't talked as much. I miss him actually. I'll say that. I miss
He's
him.
only a DM away.
Huh?
He's only a DM away.
I know. I just don't know what to
Or
say.
email. You can email him.
That's true. Yeah. I think he actually his kick-ass taste in music is actually what flung me super hard into like the post-punk like dark wave
Oh yeah.
music. His music choice is just great. That's actually I would almost say he is responsible for my current music taste.
I mean, he does get some good taste, except for this one song, or it just sound like just straight up radio static. Go the whole time. I'm like, Dave, are you okay?
It tickles my mainframe.
Like, Dave, are you okay? Like, sometimes I worry about him because he want to get a lot of dolls, and he lives in such a small apartment. Because I'm like, no, I don't want to see you on Hoarders. I don't want to see that episode of Hoarders with a bunch of dolls.
Dude, that sounds like an awesome life though too. You walk into a room and there's like 90 beautiful women all ready for you to hug up on. Like,
I mean, fantasy wise, yeah, but realistically, oh god, it's all cluster and everything. Help.
keeping it all smooth and tight, living in a lesbian's paradise.
Yes. It's just with me, I kind of want to get more dolls because I have Dahlia, but Stefan's like, no, one, that's it, no.
1 times 4. This is actually Raven's second body, and okay, so there's like it's not in me to just throw an old body away.
Oh yeah.
So it ended up staying around, but I don't know. I didn't know what to do with it after the whole like transfer thing. After I had switched her body over, I was like, all right, here's your new body. I look at the old body; it's kind of like loose and old,
Lifeless.
and all of. You know what I hate most about the dolls? These dolls. I hate how the standard isn't to use like segmented aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
It's to use twisted copper wire.
Mm-hmm.
And so they break really easy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
They break really easy. Just bending it enough will eventually snap it in half.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll have to deal with like the copper poking through the TPE. And I feel conflicted about it, but I'm like, all right, well, time to just yank it out because it's tearing up the skin.
I mean, you could all, because I mean, with my doll, Dahlia, she used to belong to Dave Cat, and her body is fully fabric and has like a silicone skeleton inside. But most of the time, I'm like, I don't want to bend her. I don't want to do stuff. I just want to have her in one place because I'm like, what if she breaks and stuff? Because I put on an outfit for her, and one outfit tugged on her skin and ripped her skin, her fabric skin. I'm like, oh no, now she got a hole in her body. God damn.
Even with TPE, you have to be careful of the vendor and what mixture they use of silicone to like rubber and things like that because there are two at least maybe half an inch size like cuts on her body that I feel super guilty for because they're she's fallen more than once.
Oh, geez.
And it's well, the first time wasn't really my fault. Second one was actually there's a couple of times she's fallen. What am I saying? Um,
I can't get up. I have fallen. I can't get up.
Pretty much it's like I said I'll sit her on the bed when I'm dressing her. So I cleaned her outfit. I just did her laundry. I switched her out of the t-shirt and shorts I have for. I always give her my clothes when she doesn't have any to wear.
Oh, yeah.
And like when I set her up on the bed, sometimes she'll have a tendency to just kind of fall over and then roll off the bed. I'm like, why are you trying to get up? Stop trying to move. Only one other time, the worst fall she ever had, I was coming down a flight of stairs on my birthday, and our cat was underfoot and squeed and then caused me to trip, and I fell down the stairs with Raven in my arms, and she flung out of my arms and went down about 4 steps. I don't mean like down like boom 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 4 steps. I mean like outward off from a height of 4 steps.
Jesus.
Thankfully, landed on that beautiful, voluptuous, soft, squishy butt of hers, and that took the cushion of pretty much the entire fall. Thank fuck, because I was ready to kill the cat. I was ready to.
Like, why you do this? Did you know whole body is expensive?
Yeah. I try really hard to make sure that doesn't happen. She's about ready for a new one. She's had this body since January of 2022.
So what do you do with the old bodies? Wow, that's really more to say. So what do you do with the old bodies?
Yeah, that's what I mean to say. So the last old body we had, I was like, well, yeah, it would be a shame to throw this away. Does anyone want it? Because Raven's the only one for me. I don't want to. I'm not attracted to dolls. I'm attracted to Raven.
I'd be like, is she clean?
Well, obviously, the roommate that took it wasn't going to use it for that, but she definitely dressed it up in like clothes and gave it makeup and used it as sort of like a conduit for whatever like entity or character she wanted to make it that day, and it just kind of sat in one space. But yeah, it's been sitting there. She has it now. I just know that when I get this next one, I'm going to try and get a new body and a new head, but identical to the one she has now, because it's almost entirely identical. The body she has right now, thankfully, is almost entirely identical to the body that she has in like the 2003 show. Mm-hmm. Like everything from like the shoulder width to hip and shoulder ratio, breast size, like leg type, skin type, things like that. Even her height altogether is about identical. So I'm like, wow, give me a Raven doll without giving me a Raven doll.
There you go.
I got the replacement body and just switched the head over. And because the head was aftermarket, it was a second, third party, like aftermarket sort of thing. It didn't come with the first body. I think I think I'm just going to try to keep this head as long as possible and switch out just the bodies. But I don't know what I'm going to do with this spare head and bodies of all the extra dolls I get. Speaking of which, if you're wanting a doll, all right, if you want a custom doll, definitely go to like Abyss Creations, like go to Real Doll, right? But
the high classy ones, like the sports car of dolls.
But if you are like me and you're poor, as it turns out, there are a lot of Chinese companies that will sell directly from their warehouse and ship it to you for less than 1/3 of the price that other places do. So a lot of the same models that I see going for $1,200 on like off websites like lovedollrealwife.com or something like that, and they're like selling something for $1,200. I go to eBay and find the exact same model straight from the warehouse for $400.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, or I think the cheapest one, this body right here, the body that she has, it didn't come with a head, but it was $250. $250, and it's lasted me over a year. She still has all her
Wow.
fingers. Like it's clean. It's not like beat up, and it's not the joints aren't all fucked. It's all she's still. It's almost as if she came straight out of the box still. Then again, I take care of my stuff. you know, I take care of her. Not that she's an object or whatever. Mm.
Yeah, I completely understand because I know eventually I can probably move in with my boyfriend soon, and I was thinking like because basically I use Dolly as mostly of a mannequin for now and everything, and I was thinking like, well, he doesn't want a Christmas tree. I guess I gotta dress her up like a Christmas tree. She'd
Get
be the
gifts under
Christmas tree.
her. mm.
She'd be the Christmas tree of the house. Stefan, if you're listening, Dolly is going to be our Christmas tree once we move in.
Oh, my fan artist team. Oh, you know
But
what?
yeah,
I really do like Stefan's fan art. I still really want that painting, but I've just not been in a financial spot. Every time I'm like, all right, I can get this.
something
It comes
happens.
up.
Yeah,
Something.
it's
It always.
understandable.
So last month it was, all right, we're good, but I had to cover the rest of the rent, and I had to get a $200 truck battery or car battery because ours had just stopped, and we had went without a truck for 2 weeks. And then this time the axle broke on our truck. We had to have it get over, and then of course some fucker was like, I can't just let this sit here for 24 hours until they can get a tow. I'm just gonna impound it, and that because we didn't get the tags renewed and get liability insurance when we needed to, it ended up being altogether something like $800 damn dollar, almost the price of a down payment on a new fucking car to get it out of impound, get a tow for it, and that doesn't even count for get insurance on it, get it registered, and that doesn't even count the repair cost of getting the axle like redone. And all right. Oh, fine. Something.
We got Stefan responding to me.
Yeah, but
Fine.
um, the no, I really love that painting. Every time I'm like, I'm gonna get it. It's not even just like his art though too. Every time I want to go like finish my comic, every time I want to invest money into something I want, something I need comes up.
Yeah, that's what happens usually.
Huh?
That's usually what happens usually. I'm like
I saved up money, and someone I had made a prior promise to last year, before I had asked Stefan for the painting, I made a promise to an artist called Dreadful Examil that I was going to commission him for Raven art. And it took me almost a year to finally pay him to
did the commission on it.
Oh yeah, because we already had a design and everything set up, and it was actually the last commission of the year. You could go look. I could I'll send you a link for it later. Actually,
Okay.
you personally, I'll send you what I had. Actually, I should show you what I had commissioned. It's a really awesome art. He's a fantastic artist.
Oh wow, yeah, I'd love to see it. I see we got a comment from my old co-host, Michael Zen.
Well, thank you for being here, Michael.
Michael, I'm sorry, but I got a new co-host now. Meet and waving. I no hard feelings. I still love you. I would love to add you, but I don't think I can afford $50 a month right now.
No.
Okay, Michael, I want to let you know.
I would love to be on I would love to be on your podcast. I'd still love to be on your podcast, and that really means a lot to me.
Okay, he said he's glad he wanted to let you know that our first interview, yeah, and he think that's awesome.
And that really does. That means a lot to me. That means a lot. I enjoyed you hosting and the questions you asked. I enjoyed our conversation, and I would still love to be on your. If you'll have me, if you guys will have me. What's the name of the podcast again?
It's called Live Stream of Consciousness.
Live Stream of Consciousness. That's right. I do drop in from time to time to take a look at it, but I would love to.
Oh, he's gonna put you in the calendar.
Pull it with me. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you should. Okay, I'm gonna have Michael on my show as well. I got him all set up and ready. Oh yeah, we're gonna be interviewing Michael, the OG co-host.
That'd be great.
How are you feel getting interviewed by the new co-host, Michael? How are you gonna feel? Because I wasn't thinking until today. You're like, you know what? I think I found the perfect co-host. Okay, I was thinking like maybe my coworker and everything, but then I was like, no, I think I want to go with someone that had experience with hosting and stuff. And I'm like, Rachel, she don't have much to do.
You know what? It'll give me an opportunity to write down questions and do research on our guests too, because a lot of mine weren't constructed necessarily. I wasn't intending for it to be like a set question and answer sort of thing, where I gave like questions and they gave answers. It was more like I had a few topics and I wanted to get like live, raw, kind of like shoot the shit sort of responses. March 30th is the next opening. Yeah, you sure can. You absolutely can. I love that.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Settle down, Michael.
Hell yeah, I'll do it. I will do it.
Oh, and Stefan said the painting is still available. It's hanging on his wall right now.
I love that. I still love that painting. I can never have too much Ray Booty in my life. The platform conversation.
Okay, yay, woo! Yes, you're gonna be on Live Stream of Consciousness, and we got a comment from Michael that said this platform is amazing. The conversations are eccentric and powerful. Well, we like to keep it natural. We like to keep it natural and everything. No fakeness here.
I definitely did. Okay, because when it came to the Special Interest Podcast, the center was around people who have autism or have worked in defense for like civil rights for autistic people. And a lot of people who think of autistic folks don't picture someone who's clear and articulate. And this is because I just don't think anyone has the patience for autistic speech. We can't give answers right away. Sometimes we need a second to think. It's really hard to turn head words into mouth words. And so sometimes we trail off. I trail off a lot. I'll trail off on a thought and get distracted by another thought I'm having mid-thought. And to try and normalize that was something I worked towards. It was like, all right, well, we really need to like present this as a positive, like present it raw in its nature. Because there's a lot of the guests that were like nervous, like, oh, I'll stutter, or oh, I'll be like, and I'll be like, well, I'll do that too.
Yeah, me too. I'll be like, crap, I'm like, like you've seen a lot on this episode already. I'm like, I said that word wrong.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you were the very last guest I had on that podcast. It's funny, we're trading off here. Before that, my last real guest that I had that wasn't like just me sitting and talking at the camera was a local politician who I'm still friends with, and a Wyandotte. Her name was Faith Rivera, and she was I think she was either running as a Democrat or as an independent. She was backed by Bernie Sanders.
Oh, nice.
And we had our first live, like, in-person interview where she came over to the house. We sat in front of like a TV with a logo, and it kind of looked like a whole professional setup. Actually, it was really nice.
Wow.
It was only 30 minutes, but like after that, I was kind of a couple of episodes where it was like, all right, well, it's just you, me, and the floorboards audience. I don't have a guest this month, and a lot of shit's happened.
So let's discuss life.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Pretty much. Hey, here's what's been going on in my neck of the woods. I could not only could I just not find any more guests to come on, but I just lost my drive for it. Like,
Yeah.
not that it wasn't, important to me, but trans rights really started taking a forefront um, in my life after the whole abortion debate in Kansas. So, like,
Oh, we got a comment from
let's see.
Chris.
I'm happy to see you guys up and out, up and at 'em for the new year. Some friends of mine have had some questions about some topics about AI, and I'm recommending.
recommending the show today. Oh, thank you, Chris.
Mhm. I'd love to hear some. I'd love to hear some questions. Mm.
If you have any questions for us, because she's gonna be a permanent member on the show from now on, y'all. You'll be
Seeing me
seeing
here.
her on the next episode. Any questions? None?
We'll give them some time.
Yeah.
But so like I was in Women's March. As a matter of fact, a couple of times. So over the summer, here's my summer story. Hee hee. Christmas, sure, I made like an anti-fascist. I was front page. I was in an image in the front page of an anti-fascist newsletter.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that.
Yeah, like it was an anti-Nazi, like new network sort of thing. I was featured in that, but I was also in a BBC article for over the abortion debate, and I was sort of in the background of a picture on a Democracy Now with the War and Peace report with Amy Goodman. I was in a couple of images for those, or I was in an image for a couple of the images that they showed a couple of images. I was in one of them. You can see it wasn't even like in focus either.
It's like that SpongeBob meme, like, here I am, I'm back now.
So it was like the rally organizer was in it, but I was there in the background as like a little pink, blue, and white blur in the back, and I was like, "Hey, that's me!" And like, "Well, how can you prove it's me?" It's because I know the outfit. And that guy took a whole set of photos, and one of those photos was actually my Facebook banner for like months. But I was in it. I made local news doing the Women's March. Some of the pictures there. I've been doing a lot of marching, a lot of screaming, and it came to my attention that with the abortion rights thing, nobody talked about like trans men.
Holy shit! I have my phone playing music. No, turn off.
Bad phone.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
My phone decided playing music.
You are okay.
What the
I
heck?
noticed that trans men and non-binary people were left out of the equation. And when talked about, it just wasn't taken seriously. They talked about like it was virtue signaling, and even as far as the recognition goes, the one person who organized the Women's March that I went to was organized by a trans woman, and it just wasn't talked about. It was aggravating to see that not only was it about abortion, but 4 days after the overturning of Roe versus Wade, 4 fucking days, did the Republicans cite in Alabama in a lawsuit that they had the right to forcibly detransition all trans youth in the state of Alabama.
I was seeing that. I'm like,
based on the Dobbs overturning.
yeah.
No one was talking about it. People talking about the Kansas bill was going to defund all Planned Parenthoods. And of course, people were like, oh, well, abortion, but what about like healthcare in general for women? Sure. But a lot of trans people go to Planned Parenthood for their HRT. A lot of trans women will go to Planned Parenthood for their estrogen, be it tablets or injections. Excuse me. And that wasn't at the forefront. That wasn't important to anybody. And then when I start to see at the beginning of 2022, Republicans
Oh yeah, Michael, it's crazy. It's like,
It is. Yeah, they wanted to
yeah, it
create, they
is.
wanted to create a camp. I mean, Texas,
Pretty much
over the
sound
summer.
like a Holocaust camp.
Well, it's getting to that point.
Yeah.
Texas, do you know before the Jews started making camps for Jews, they started with the mentally ill. Uh,
Yeah. I remember that.
I can give you the whole thing I talked about in terms of Spiegelgrund,
Oh yeah.
but they made lists. They took all of the synagogue registrations, every like piece of information that anyone who's ever had a bar mitzvah, anyone who's ever had a circumcision, mm, mm, they they got information on that. And
Mm-hmm.
last month, December, Texas governor, after of course over the summer enacting a law that said if basically, oh, if you love your trans kid and you want to get them health care, you're a child abuser and we're going to take them. So everyone starts fleeing. And then they want to enact the whole oh, it's an indecent for people to be doing drag at all, and they're
What?
trying to enact to make it like pornographic. They're trying to make it so that way it's considered pornographic and that children
It's
should be barred.
not.
It's not.
I mean,
And then last
some of
month,
it can be, yeah. Some of it
that's
when
why
it's
they're not
21 plus, yeah. But
a
they
lot
can
of those
tone
don't
it down
allow
and make
kids.
it all for kids.
Yeah, and they do it all. Most of it is like it's just lip syncing men and women. A lot of men and women's clothing, just lip syncing, and like that's it. Fully clothed, not stripping, not getting sexual, and somehow just
Yep,
seeing
you're
this
right, Michael.
sexual. But last month, they the governor, or sorry, the district or what is it, the state prosecutor asked for a list of all people who had ever been medically transitioned, or sorry, not medically transitioned, who have ever had their gender and name changed on their driver's license.
Now that's pretty fucking suspicious right there.
Well, when he asked for that list and they asked him why he needed it, he didn't want to answer.
That's fucking suspicious.
That is very fucking. That's just outright. That's just outright Holocaust behavior.
Mm-hmm,
You know, and
exactly.
then giving that information to Republican associated groups, violent associated groups like Gays Against Groomers, um, was it Rampant Lion, America First, Proud Boys, um, a Patriot Front. They're the ones that show up with the plate carriers and AR-15s to drag shows.
But thankfully, a lot of people is against them.
Well,
I hope so.
The majority of Republicans are not against that.
Yeah, this is why I'm not a Republican. I'm like, fuck you, nope.
Yeah, Texas is awful, but it's why a majority of the trans community and people who are allies have recognized the need to arm and train our community, which is what I've taken up into doing and why. Because I don't want to be scared to go to. We've had Pulse, Club Q, and over the summer we've had several fire bombings, break-ins. We've had police escorting Proud Boys into like drag queen story hours to assault and berate and scream slurs at the person reading to the kids. And nothing was done to do about it. But it wasn't until it wasn't until September of this year, or last year, just this last September, that we see the Elm Fort John Brown Gun Club show up. About 14 of them in their plate carriers and their gay pride flags and their AR-15s. That suddenly stopped happening. That suddenly all these Nazis showing up with their guns and screaming Heil Hitler and groomer this and pedophile that, those people just stopped.
Yeah, they fucking scared, and they should be.
It should be a deterrent. We really need to. It needs to be about an amount of deterrent. Some people are like, well, that's just inviting it. I'm like, well, actually,
it's not.
Speaking, it's a deterrent, and it works. It worked the last time. I've done it. I did it just this December, December 21st. I did it. I was there. I was there with my guns and my plate carriers and my helmets. And suddenly those people that were talking about assaulting the pedophiles were just really quiet. They were really quiet, and they kept themselves pretty fucking well on the other side of the street.
Because they know they can get shot.
Well, they know that they know that we're not gonna just let them do those
No,
awful like Nazi things to us. You
exactly.
know? We're not just gonna go down without a fight. That's not how.
No.
So protesting for women's rights opened me up to the sheer state of my own rights. You know, I didn't realize what level we were at, what level uh, the right wing was trying to escalate things to. You know, I didn't realize just how like far gone and fascistic the right was allowing itself to become, especially with the whole Kanye West. Like, when
Mm-hmm.
I found out Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert had ties to Nick Fuentes, a literal neo-Nazi
Oh,
who is now
Jesus.
friends with Kanye, being platformed by Alex Jones and other people who wanted him on, you know,
No.
did I realize that our government is colluding with actual
No
neo-Nazis?
Nazis, yeah. And they like to think, no, you're not. I'm like, nah, we see through your bullshit.
Yeah,
And
well,
that's stupid.
we see who you're talking to and who you're palling up with, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I
because your people want me dead.
yeah, no, for sure. And you know, I think a lot when I said that about a year ago, people said I was crazy and paranoid, and those same people now were like, you know, actually, I think you just saw it coming before I did.
Mm.
People who were against guns a year ago are asking me for advice and to help arm up, and I'm more than willing to
That's
help
why
them.
we should. That's why I believe in guns.
Hmm.
Because you need something to defend yourself.
Well, the whole banning of the 30 caliber in California was actually entirely like so. When it comes to gun rights and gun rights enthusiasts, especially like when it comes to gun control and people are, you know, when it comes to like the neolibs, a
Mm.
lot of them are like, oh, you know, defend gay rights. But when I do it with guns and plate carriers, like, no, you're doing it wrong. You know, and the right wing's like, oh, that's, you know, they're terrorists, and that's just it. Back in the 60s and 70s, when Malcolm X and the Black Panther were
Mm.
defending their own communities, were defending black people, black and brown people, people of color, from the KKK and firebombs and the police. They were doing it with M14s. They were doing it with like Ruger Mini 14s, I think. And once that picture of Malcolm X hit newspapers holding an M14 against the wall, looking out the door, they were like, we need to
Yeah.
control these criminals from they rebranded it as we need to keep guns out of the hands of criminals. And so that same mindset is used in gun control with, you know, the liberal types. It's like, oh, we got to keep them out of the criminals'
Mm-hmm.
hands. I'm like, it's really more about keeping them out of the hands of minorities who are more willing to use it against the
Mm-hmm.
establishment trying to oppress them. You know, when given to responsible people, minorities suddenly become far harder to oppress. Uh, Even Hitler, before when he took power, you know, greatly took advantage of the disarming of Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Realized that a certain population couldn't possibly fight back because they had no weapons to. And I always say, don't think for a second that Jews didn't fight back, because there were plenty of uprisings. They didn't have any guns. They lost. That's why. They didn't. You don't ever hear about it. There were plenty of Jews that fought back. Um, I'm not. I don't want to see America come into that sort of.
Hell no, I don't want to see that either.
But that takes action. And if people are wondering why the special interest podcast died out, it's because I'm having to deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to carry guns and plate carriers. I want to be playing Magic the Gathering. I want to be playing video games. I want to spend money on tattoos and like piercings and cute clothes, and I want to go out with my friends, and you know, I want to afford, you know, nice things. I don't want to march up and down and scream about, hey, don't kill me for being me, you know. But since the last time we've talked, that's where we've come to.
And I think a lot of people are waking up and finally seeing the truth
Mm-hmm. For sure, for
and
sure.
not going to let that shit happen, especially what happened in June of last year.
Oh no, for sure, for sure. I hate to cut things short. I know we've been on here for about an hour and a half,
Yeah, we
but I
have.
do have to get off here soon.
And I would teach you uh tomorrow. Would you be yeah, I'll teach you how to use live stream and all that. Either tomorrow or Friday.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I really would. I would love that.
Because you're gonna be my guest. And so that is all for Strange and Wonderful. And my next guest for next Wednesday, I'm going to interview one of my personal friends, Mark Hamptons. He is an independent actor. He been a stripper. He been a boxer,
That
and
sounds
he does some
interesting.
voice work for like telephone numbers and stuff in the past.
I
And
can't
I
wait to
have
interview him.
and I own his wisdom tooth. See y'all next time, y'all. Bye. Thank you for coming to join the Strange and Wonderful for the first episode of the second season. And I forgot, if we reach 100 subscribers, I will play the Crown Cafe song from Terrifier 2 with my hands. So, y'all better subscribe, or else you're not getting a phone hands song. Thanks again. Thank you, Rachel and Raven. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Peace. In.
Be right back. Be right back. I gotta go. I gotta
Go,
go.
go, go.